She's April.
And she's Molly.
And we are
the Book Besties.
Like, if you're talking to me on TikTok,
bad bitch.
I like W because he's a good old boy.
He smolders.
I wonder if this is the first ChatGPT novel.
Talk hurricane to me, Jeb. Talk hurricane to me.
You're commenting on my TikToks.
2 weeks in a row I got you.
I know.
It's amazing.
It's a shock. But, you know, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Nothing's wrong.
Just the world is burning.
Just the world's on fire.
I'm in a lot of pain today.
Yeah, me too, girl. Me too. But we have a week and that's going to be busy, so we need to rally.
So, peek behind the curtain a little bit here. We are filming this episode before the Annapolis Book Festival, but the episode will come out after the Annapolis Book Festival.
I get to hug you in a couple days.
Oh my gosh, I need a hug, girl. I need a motherfucking hug. I need you to hold me and make it awkward.
You got it.
Thank you.
You got it. You want to hear something hilarious?
What?
You're going to love this. Your fucking nieces. Okay, so the girls, I told them that the boys were coming and like, you know how middle schoolers are. Young kids. And I was like, y'all just stop. They are smart. They like to read. You can play video games with them. You're fine. And then I go this morning, I was talking to Matt and I go, remember, Matt, the walk-ins are bringing Bailey. And Piper goes, who's Bailey? And I go, their dog. And she goes, what kind of dog is it? And I go, a German, a Saint Bernard. And she goes, no! She was so excited. So the rest of y'all can pound sand. Piper's here for Bailey.
That's hilarious.
So if Bailey ends up being snuck into the basement to sleep with Piper and the other two dogs, basement
good luck, girls, because Bailey goes where Tom is. She gives zero fucks about anybody else.
That's hilarious.
This is what she did last week. Tom was up here. We share an office.
Right.
So my recording space is here, and then his desk is over there.
Right.
He was up here in the office editing the podcast, but he had left his cane. My husband walks with a cane. Left his cane outside of our bedroom door. Okay. So and the door was shut. So Bailey was sitting there waiting for Daddy. And I was like, Bailey, he's not in there. And she looked at me like I was a liar. And so I opened the door and she went into his side of the bed and realized he was not there and went, where the fuck is he? Looked at me. I said, he's upstairs in his office. She sprinted. I was like, this is hilarious. And so I told Tom about it. He was like, she was really waiting. I was like, yeah, your cane was there. So that must be where you were.
She assumed that is your location. Where else
would you be? I gotta
be
honest with you. St. Bernards are supposed to be able to find people in blizzards and mountainous blizzards, but she couldn't find him in our house because his cane was somewhere else. I'm not sure she would work out. That's not.
His scent's all over it. I don't understand why he's not here. That's my cat. You'll see it when you come. Honey,
I don't like cats.
She follows me everywhere. Like, you saw me when we were I was holding her because if not, she will hide in here while we're filming and just pop out like the fucking boogeyman.
I'm not a cat person. That's like
I'm not either. But this cat,
people, but I'm not.
I'm not either. But this cat, it's like having a small dog. You know, Rocco. She replaced Rocco pretty much.
There's no replacing Rocco.
No, I miss him.
So yes, so I need all the hugs.
All the hugs.
The awkward, we've been hugging too long hugs. But I have to tell you what happened. I told the boys that they were coming to see you.
Yay!
And Sam was like, who are they? And I was like, first of all, you literally know Molly's voice because you'll say, Mommy, is that Auntie Molly? And I'll be like, yeah. But I was telling them about your kids, Piper and Liv. And I couldn't remember how old they were, but I knew they were both in middle school. So James was like, oh, well, I'll be in middle school next year. So they're like, within my age. And I was like, okay, brah. I was like,
okay, brah.
I was like, Piper's going to be in high school next year. And I was like, but do you want to know what Piper wants to be when she grows up? And he goes, what? And I was like, she wants to be an astronaut. He's like, cool. I knew you were going to say that. And I was like, okay. It's like, she's been to space camp. So you wanted to go to space camp. So maybe you can pick her brain about like what space camp is like. And I said that she wants to be an astronaut. And she's super into like, space. And he's like, well, I'm doing 8th grade math now. Is she doing 8th grade math? I was like, she's an 8th grader. He's like,
She's
okay,
doing
well,
9th grade math, actually. She's advanced.
he was like, well, I'm doing 8th grade math and I'm in 4th grade. And I was like, dude, she's advanced as well. She's doing beyond 8th grade math. But it was just so funny because he was like, how can I compare?
I love this because she needs this because he is so much like her in that sense of I'm the smartest, I'm the brightest, me. You know what I mean? So he's going to knock her down a peg and she's definitely going to knock him down a peg.
I
So
don't
it's
know.
really
His
good.
does not falter. That's one thing I got to say. Scott going for him. He's like fine with who he is.
I'm looking forward to Sammy Cakes. I know his little ADHD bug is going to attach to me. As soon as he sees a kindred spirit in the freaking crazy brain, he's going to be like, Mo!
Listen, he loves people. I would guess he comes in and hugs you. I would guess. That's just his personality.
I don't doubt it.
And he probably
after he gets plowed down by dogs, because that's what happens at my house.
Well, he likes those too. He will probably need reminded that Piper doesn't love being touched. Like James. Because James is that way too.
Yeah, let's just remind Sam that Piper's more like James.
Yeah.
Than Mommy.
James has to be reminded too. I have to be like, James does not like being touched. You need to stop touching your brother.
Bubble, buddy, bubble.
He doesn't understand boundaries. Sometimes I'm like, I really feel like you need better boundaries, especially because I'm your mom. Like, this is not
I don't respect your boundaries, and I'm one of your best friends.
That's okay. Okay.
Right. Let's talk about American Royals.
American Royals by Katharine McGee. She commented on our socials.
I saw. Piper finished this in 24 hours because I told her we were covering it. And she's read the other ones that we've read. And she goes, I like it, but like, I don't. And I was like, word, Piper, word.
All right, so give us a synopsis because you're the host this week. Do the thing.
That's right. I'm the grown-up today.
You're not new. I know you took some time off, but get your shit together.
I'm trying. It's not going well. What if, after the Revolutionary War, instead of being named the president, George Washington was given the title King of America? Well, this book is the story of just that. His descendants in modern-ish day America. We follow the lives of 4 modern-day royals: Beatrice, Sam, Daphne, and Nina, who's a commoner. So, to start, Beatrice has known her whole life she's going to rule America one day. She's the heir. She just didn't think it was going to be this soon. Spoiler alert, her father has cancer and doesn't want anybody to know. So she must find a suitable partner to be her king consort before he passes. Princess Samantha, one of the spare, the girl that came next. She's next in line, obviously, but she just got back from a long trip with her brother Jefferson, twin brother, who she's older than by 3 minutes or something like that.
And she calls him her younger brother.
Who's next in line? When she meets a stranger that just might be the one, sadly, he's now engaged to her sister.
What a surprise.
Then there's Nina Gonzalez, who isn't royal or even close to being royal. She just happens to be the best friend of the spare, Samantha. When Sam and Jeff return from their trip, Nina realized that she and Jeff left things off a little too close, and she wants to figure out where that's going. And then there's Daphne. Daphne Dayton. That bitch. Daphne has known since she was young she will be a princess. She has trained and practiced, styled herself, and taken all the classes. She just needs Prince Jefferson to get on board.
Mm-hmm.
Daphne does not care who is in her way, even if you are her best friend.
Mm-hmm.
She will marry the prince.
Or push you,
Or
drug
else.
you.
When we meet these four ladies, they are about to venture into a new era of American royalty. They are telling their story. They tell us their stories along the way. So let's dive in.
Great.
That was a good enough
That was a good
synopsis.
synopsis. I'm really proud of
Thank
you.
you. I was gonna break the questions up by each girl, but I was struggling to so I just threw it in the synopsis. I want to get the elephant in the room out of the way first.
Mm-hmm.
While I liked this book truly, I have a lot of qualms, questions, quarrels with this whole theme in her inspiration it fits neatly into the genre. And I get where she's going for, like, it shelves with Royal We, Red, White, and Royal Blue, like, all of them. It just feels like it's missing a step.
Yeah.
What did you think?
All right. So you referenced two of the books that I would say, and also Red, White, and Royal Blue.
Royal Blue.
So those three books are three of my favorite books. The Selection
Yes.
series is top shelf. That's a top shelf one.
Top shelf.
Uh,
Selection is fantastic.
Yeah. Royal
If
We,
you haven't listened to the episode, we'll link it down below. It's great.
Royal We also top shelf.
Also an episode.
And I love those books so much.
Me too.
And there was so much of this that was just like copy paste. And my biggest
it's not even like it's touching.
Not even a good copy.
It's not
like
even
it was
a trope.
run on one of those machines like this, and it's like the purple ink, and you have to like hand crank it like back from the 70s and 80s.
I wonder if this is the first ChatGPT novel.
What?
ChatGPT. Do you know what ChatGPT is?
No.
It's an AI that generates text.
Oh.
like people are using it to write college papers. I've seen a TikTok and I've sent it out. I'll post it in the links. It's a TikTok and it created a Gilmore Girls scene between Emily and Lorelai, and it was so accurate. The tone, the mannerisms, the pauses, everything. You would never know that it wasn't in the show.
Well, this is my biggest issue with this book. It isn't even that I don't think it lives up to its predecessors.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest issue with this book is the history. I love history a lot. But I actually was excited to read this. This has been on my TBR for a really long time. The idea that Washington would have become king instead of president, that's kind of cool. We now have American royals. But there would be so much history that is undone by this, and the book does not do a good job like explaining those changes. Like, okay, let's talk about good and bad history that would be undone by this. Okay, so the book establishes that most of the countries, especially like countries that are like progressive countries that we tend to do trade with,
interact with,
things like that, that they are still monarchies. Mm-hmm. Which would basically mean that the world wars wouldn't have happened, right? So,
bullshit flag, because I forgot my bell again.
So, you maybe could still have the First World War because that was an archduke.
Yeah.
So there's still like a royal, but a royal element. But then you go on to Hitler being a dictator, right? Yeah. That's a great thing to not have happened. Like no Holocaust, that's awesome. But then you turn the coin on that, and please understand that I am in no way justifying the Holocaust. That was horrific. I have been to Auschwitz, and like I'm not Jewish. I did have a Jewish friend in college. I don't personally know anyone that's Jewish. I live in the Bible Belt, everyone. It's just what's happening here. But oh no, I do. I do know somebody who's Jewish. But anyway, I'm not Jewish, but going to Auschwitz and like standing in the gas chambers, it gave me fucking chills. It was so awful.
Horrific.
I walked into a room right after they told us that they killed all the babies, and then this room was full of baby clothes. So it was like devastating. So yeah, that was awful part of history. But do you know how America benefited from World War II? That's how we got our space program.
Yeah.
So and I'm not justifying that they did this, but there were a lot of German scientists who defected and came here.
Yeah.
And they made the space program.
And we got a lot of shit from the space program. We got satellites, we got satellite TV, we got television, we got modern phones, we've got internet.
We went to the moon, motherfuckers.
Like, well, I mean, there's some people that don't believe that.
No, we've been to the moon. And I mean, like, so there are certain things that I'm like, how would they have like settled this? I needed her to like reconcile history.
Yeah, just smooth it out a little bit, explain some things.
Yeah, slavery, for example. At what point
they kind of glossed
they
over
talk
that.
about slavery. There was one of the kings like freed the slaves,
but they glossed over it.
Yeah.
It was gross.
It wasn't it for me. The thing that the selection was able to do, the reason why it was able to make a monarchy here in America was because it was actually dystopian, right?
Right.
So we have had a complete shit economy, a shit world, and a family rose to power and basically made themselves king. Convinced everybody that like
that they're important, right? Yes. That the ways we were doing weren't
working. And that makes more sense to me than us fighting a revolution to kick out the monarchy and then going, you know what? We should have a king.
Well, what bothers me about this is everything I've ever read and studied and learned about George Washington, he was a very reluctant president.
Yes.
He never
wanted to be the leader.
He didn't want to be the leader of a free nation. He only did it so that there was semblance of control because he knew everybody was going to listen to him.
Right.
If they were going to make him a king, he absolutely would have told them to go fuck themselves.
Right. He did not want to be president. A lot of people don't know
I am saying that for George W. Washington. I went from Washington to Bush because I talk about George W. all the time. George W., I love him so much. I don't always agree with his politics, but he is one of my favorite presidents.
I really thought you were going to go another way with that because he is my favorite president.
George W.?
My favorite president of my lifetime.
I like W because he's a good old boy. Like, he never wanted...
You need to go to the National Portrait Gallery.
I've seen his work.
Have you seen his portrait? Have you seen his portrait?
No.
He's like sitting like man legged out, and he's just kind of like chilling, and you like legit feel like I could sit down and have a beer with this guy.
This guy who's sober, by the way. So
no,
the day I fell in love with George W. as a president was I saw this video. He when he retired and went back to Texas, he and Laura has this beautiful big ranch, and they invite veterans out all the time,
and he paints them.
And he paints them and he talks them. He just has them to come hang out. Like, he likes having people come out. And he was bullshitting with one of the veterans. And he goes to fuck with him. And he goes, put it there. And the veteran pulls his arm out. And there's no hand. And I lost it. And the veteran's laughing. And W's laughing. And everybody else is dead cold. And that just proves that W honestly was pushed into it, right? Dad told him to do this. Dad always made W do this.
I don't know that that's true. I think he was pretty ambitious. But do you know what Laura Bush's job was before she became a politician's wife?
No.
She was a
librarian.
She's a hero of mine. Truly. I've actually read several biographies and autobiographies about the Bush family.
Really?
As a whole, I like them. And when I lived in Florida, Jeb was the governor.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I don't really think Jeb is like attractive, but it was so fucking sexy to watch him give hurricane information. He would like give all the hurricane information and then he would say it in Spanish and I'd be like, damn.
Homie can speak that Spanish.
Well, his wife is Latina. So he's not just like fumbling through the words. Like he knows Spanish. So I was like, wow, that's sexy. Talk hurricane to me, Jeb. Talk hurricane to me.
Next question. Oh my God.
We've lost it.
that Jeb Bush is on your list just...
He's not. I just want him to talk hurricane to me. That's all.
Okay. Okay.
That list still remains Zachary Levi. Zachary Levi. You shut your mouth.
It's not... It's that when he talks, like, ever.
What's wrong with the way he talks?
It's not about the way he talks. It's like he says stupid things and then doubles down on the stupid things he says. Like, he's in an MLM right now.
You say stupid things.
Wow. Wow. He's pushing protein powder. Like your ex-bully in high school.
Yeah, I don't love the
He's in an MLM.
I don't love the beefed
He's
up.
a boss bitch.
I know. I don't like the beefed up gym bro that he's become.
I don't either.
I'm also not really a muscles girl. As proven by the fact that I wanted Jeb Bush to talk about. I'm never living that down. That's going to be forever.
I'm texting Katie when we get off. Jeb Bush. That's all I'm saying. Jeb Bush.
Oh my gosh. Ask the next fucking question.
Katharine McGee is new to us. What did you think of her style? She wrote 4 different POVs. Do you think she pulled it off?
Yes. I think each one was really distinct. And I think the audiobook narrator, which was not... it was one person. It wasn't full cast. And she did a really good job creating voices.
I will link that below. # Audible not sponsored.
Yeah.
You guys need to talk to us because, like, you're commenting on my TikToks.
Yeah.
Like, if you're talking to me on TikTok.
Yeah, we still can't even fucking get approved to be an Amazon, link affiliate.
You will not fucking believe this. You will not fucking believe this. I got a notice the other day on Instagram that it was suggested I apply to be an influencer. And I'm like,
I know.
What the fuck? And then I had an ad for Amazon influencing. And I was like, Amazon, you don't want my podcast. Why would you want
me? Right. So
anyways, the question.
Here's the thing. This book is a series. It is
a series.
The final book comes out this year. I think in November, but I'm not totally sure. Mm-hmm. I wanted to like it. I bought it. Okay. I bought it. I wanted to read the whole series. I don't anymore. I think even the parts that this book has some bent corners. That is so disappointing. Even the parts that I felt like, I think she handled the 4 voices well. I'm trying to gather my thoughts. I think she handled the 4 voices well, but I don't think that they all were cohesively necessary. Like, it was very cliche that you had the sister who kissed the future brother-in-law.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Spencer in Pretty Little Liars, right? That's the thing. Mm-hmm. And then you have the older sister who's going to be queen, but who does she fall in love with? Her guard. That is so cliche, right?
That's selection.
Yeah. That's not the America and Maxon. Well, I guess so, because she loves...
America fell in love. Her boyfriend became her hometown boyfriend in Selection became her guard.
Yeah. But that's not who she ends up with. Spoiler. But yeah, I mean, like,
if you haven't read the Selection that came out a gazillion years ago,
it's so good. You need to read it. It's very good. It's definitely one of my favorites. So, I mean, that's cliche. You have the mean girl who is fighting her way to the top. That's also in the Royal We. I mean,
and the Selection.
And so it's just like, I don't know. It was really predictable. And of course, the girl that the prince falls for is the commoner, which, we now have commoners married into the royal family, the British royal family.
We're looking at you, Meghan Markle.
Kate Middleton is a commoner. Her dad is a self-made millionaire, several millions, but I don't think he's a billionaire.
Millions adjacent.
But when they were actually together initially, like when they announced their engagement, there were British tabloids that were trying to link her to the royal line for it to be justifiable. And then everyone was like, just shut the fuck up. She's a commoner. It's fine. Like, why do we have to continue inbreeding this family?
Why do you have to marry your cousin? Why? Tell that to all of Tioga County.
But you know what that's funny is in this book they talk about...
My sister and mom are really going to laugh hard at that joke.
In this book they actually talk about Beatrice marrying the third cousin. So, or no, was it second cousin? I don't know. I just remember going, that's too close.
It's too close.
Too close.
Too close. See, I think she's a good writer. I like her writing style. I think she knew all 4 voices. I just don't like the content. Yeah. It's not that I don't like the content. I enjoyed the content. This is a book, I will finish the series. I'm gonna finish the series. I want to see how it pans out. But am I overly invested? No. Am I attached to anyone? No. Do I care what happens? No. I just need to know what happens.
And I feel like, so I think I would be more motivated to finish this if it were in the young adult category. So this is a YA book, but all of the characters except for the bitchy one are
I have a question about that actually.
All of the characters except the bitchy one are out of high school. They're all young adults. Yeah. And if they would have made this a new adult book and put a little spice in it, then I would have absolutely finished the series. So even though I felt like the book was subpar.
This was a qualm for me and I didn't know how to write it as a question. So at times, this book it doesn't balance right. Sometimes she's writing these characters as if they're more mature and adults in adult situations. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they're like, she writes them as kids and children. And like, they're talking about high school. And it's just, I couldn't even out and balance that out. You know what I mean? Yeah. I couldn't make that part of the story work in my mind.
I was fine with the flashbacks and everything when they were younger, but I just feel like if you're writing a book, and you know, maybe this is the fault of the fact that we have read a lot of books lately. If I had never read The Selection, I might have liked this book. The concept is there. It's still, the history would have bothered me. I'd have been like, this is not okay.
The history bugs me because I am a historical fiction snob. I will say that. I
don't even like historical fiction, but I like
favorite historical fiction was written by a historian. So yeah, I'm gonna have issues. And if she was gonna get creative with the history, I wish she would have gotten more creative, not glossed over it. Mm-hmm. I drive hard into it. If you're gonna make it fiction, make it fiction. You know what
I feel like that is why this book remained YA. Mm-hmm. You don't dig into the story, to the world building enough to really make this. So in addition to the fact that nobody is like banging, and even if they close door, the only people that get close to having sex are Beatrice and her guard. Right. And the closest they
they do have sex, but it's a fade to black.
Do they, or do they just?
They do.
Okay. Well, and then the bitch,
because at the end she's talking about feeling nauseous all the time. I was like, fuck, that bitch is pregnant.
Oh gosh, surprise pregnancy trope. And then you do have the bitchy girl sleeps with the prince's best friend, which is also another
fade to black. It's a fade to black.
Yeah, but it's another cliche, right? Mm-hmm. It's like she's been told her whole life that she needs to get the prince, but that's not the person she loves. She actually has feelings for this other guy.
Right. Right.
And also, did you ever watch Degrassi?
No.
Okay. So when I was teaching in Tampa, all my little emo kids were like, you need to watch Degrassi. It's so good. So I watched Degrassi, and it goes there. It goes there. And there's a character in the first or second season who has a boyfriend who's abusive, and like all of her friends are like, you know, you need to stay away from him, whatever. And he ends up shoving her, and she like cracks her head and she ends up in a coma, and she basically like disappears from the show. They never like revisit her character.
It's like the sister in Family Matters who walked up the stairs and never came back.
There was this, I don't know. I don't watch Family. Oh, Family Matters. I was thinking.
Yeah, with Steve Urkel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The younger sister who just like
just disappeared. Walked up the stairs and never came back.
So that's what the whole friend that had been falling down the stairs, I 100% knew. What is the bitchy girl's name? I can't keep calling her the bitch.
Beatrice, not Beatrice.
Daphne.
Daphne.
I 100% knew Daphne's the one that hurt her. Like, okay, she didn't push her down the stairs, which is what I assumed happened, but
she's the cause of it.
She drugged her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We start the book in Beatrice POV. Does this make
transition?
Sorry, I was trying to get back on track. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
We start the book in Beatrice's POV. Does this make her the main character, or do you think we have multiple main characters?
So, I think you could make an argument for Beatrice being the main character and for Nina being the main character.
Right.
I think it's a little harder to make the argument for Daphne or for Samantha. But maybe that's because I gravitated to the other two stories more. I'm not sure. But
I identified with Sam the most, honestly.
Well, anyway, I do. If you look at the back of, I'm assuming you have the same copy as me.
Yeah.
The third book is called Rivals, and I did a little digging about what the next upcoming books are. And Rivals is Nina and Daphne pair up together. They have a common enemy in the third one. So my guess is that even though to me, Beatrice and Nina were the main characters in the first book, there's probably more Sam and Daphne probably get more character development in the other books.
Yeah.
Because what I know about Sam in this book is that flat line. She wants the guy.
She's a party girl and
she wants the guy.
Yeah. There's no development.
Sparrow. And then Daphne's the bitch. There's no development. She's a bitch. It's a flat line. She does not regret the fact that her friend is
She likes being evil.
Yeah, and she does not regret that her friend is in a coma. She would have done it again. She doesn't want her to wake up because she doesn't want to get caught. But that friend said she wanted the prince too, so I gotta cut a bitch.
You gotta do what you gotta do to get her out of the picture, man.
I know, right?
Like the selection, this book has a hard line when it comes to royal versus commoners. Did you think the author was original in her take on this? We get the purpose of this. There is a financial class system here in the United States of America. That's why authors write it into these to give us the parallel in life, blah, blah, blah. I don't think she added anything to the American royal, the royal genre.
I don't think she did either. I think the idea of marrying a royal marrying a commoner is, number one, it's the dream that you have as a little girl, right? I'm going to grow up and marry Prince William. I mean, he's my age, so Prince William was it. Huh?
We all had a chance. Yeah. 1 in a million chance, but we didn't.
I even lived in England for a little while, and he didn't pick me, but anyway, whatever.
That's super rude of him.
I know.
How dare you, William?
But I mean, I think that's always the dream. I think that's always the dream, right? That maybe he'll marry a commoner, and then, but you even think about movies from my college days. So I guess that would have been your middle school, like The Prince and Me with Julia Stiles. His mom is she's a commoner. It's disgusting. It's a dirty word, and
how dare she not have royal blood?
Right, and I feel like the king, when it's revealed that he loved somebody else and he chose the crown.
Yeah.
I think that was a hard lesson for Beatrice. And side note, I don't think that what he was telling her on his deathbed was that she needed to go for the crown. I think he was saying go for the guard. But
I think he was saying be with the person you love.
Be with the person
have
you love.
No regrets.
But
live the life you want. But
they do try to influence her relationship, but nobody seems to give a fuck that the prince is dating whomever he wants to.
Right.
Well, that's not true. When it comes out that he's dating Nina, why would the public be so angry of the fact that she gets...
Because Daphne set it up.
I know that, but it's so absurd. It's so absurd.
So absurd.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Nina needs to grow a pair.
Nina does need to grow up hair. She is pretty connected. Her mom is pretty up there, and she acts like her mom works at Walmart.
Right.
Which there's nothing wrong with working at Walmart. Hear me out. There's
Right.
nothing wrong with working at Walmart. There's nothing
Right.
wrong working with anywhere. You're taking care of your family. God bless you. You know
Right.
what I mean? But she's acting like her mother isn't important.
Right.
She is acting like her mom isn't high in the civilian world.
Right.
She's acting like they aren't worth a damn.
Right. I mean,
She's acting like she is some pissant, and she's
right.
not.
I mean, tits up, Buttercup. You like the guy. He likes you back.
Seriously,
Be happy.
suck it up. Fucking move forward.
And I know Daphne
Fucking
told
Judy.
her that fucking Judy. I know Daphne was all like blah 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 blah, and she was all like, "Oh, you're probably right." But come on, come on, come on. I'm only gonna believe that mean girl shit for so long. Like, get over it.
Right.
Sorry.
We ask this question constantly. Are these characters heroines?
No, none of them. Unless you want to say Daphne is a heroine because she can make shit happen. I mean, if she was running the mafia would be rolling.
Honestly, she's an unreliable narrator.
I don't know that I agree with you on that. She's pretty honest to us, the reader, about who she really is.
That's true.
We know. She's just a hypocrite. The person that
she's a villain. That's what it is. She's a villain.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
She's like the mom from Rapunzel from Tangled, right?
Yes.
But Mama knows best.
Mother knows best. Take it from your mumsy. On your own, you won't survive.
That's not.
No.
You know who's in that movie?
Me.
Zachary Levi.
I know. He plays the voice of Eugene.
Mm-hmm.
Or Flynn Rider.
He smolders. And he sings.
He does sing. I have a dream. No. I love Tangled.
No.
Relationships, friendships, and breakups play a big role in the lives of these characters. Hell, it's all they seem to talk about. Do you have a favorite? Were you rooting for anyone? I got a list of them. We have Daphne and Jeff, Daphne and Ethan, Jeff and Nina, B and Connor, Sam and B and Teddy, Sam and Teddy.
I think the best couple was Nina and Jeff. I wanted them.
You're rooting for them. Yeah.
I really wanted them to work. I wanted B to be with the guard. What's his name? Connor. Like I wanted that too. Daphne can go fuck herself.
Daphne can go fuck herself. For sure.
Or the prince's friend, either way. But just get away. Samantha, I feel like she just needs to grow up. She needs to put on some big girl pants. But Nina and Jeff, that relationship was intriguing to me. And I think they really cared about each other. And the whole like cute thing where he brought her a Wawa milkshake.
The Wawa scene. Cute. His first viewing of a Wawa was adorable.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, there's all this stuff here.
It 100% reminded me of Nick from the Royal We, who was watching trash TV with Bex and eating Cracker Jacks. Like, it's the whole thing. It's the same thing.
It's something the common folk have that he doesn't.
It's them sneaking out of her birthday party and pretending that he's somebody else. Like, it's that. I wanted that relationship.
Nick and Night Bex.
Right.
I'm assuming you're not planning to finish the series then?
So here's the thing. I don't think so at this point, although I own the first one and it just irritates me to just own one. So, but
same.
So because of what our filming schedule is looking like for May, I actually took a little pivot and I'm listening to Crooked Kingdom right now. So I'm back in the Grishaverse. And so this is the 5th book in the Grishaverse, but it's a part of the Six of Crows duology. And so like I want to finish that series and I still haven't read the final, what is it? A Court of Silver Flames. I still haven't read that one. And I want to finish those series and the 3rd book in the Olivia Dade spoiler alert series. So those things I want to finish first. Also, I haven't finished the Fine Print series. So there's just things that like I want to finish
that have higher priority.
Yeah, this is not one that I'm like really, but I'll tell you what it did make me want to do. It made me want to quick read The Selection again.
I fucking love the selection.
All 5 books, I want to do it. I deeply disliked the duology, like sequel duology, of the selection the first time I read it. But then after we filmed that episode during season 1, I listened to the final books again. And that the way that final book, the second book in the duology, 5th book in the series, whatever you want to call it, the way that book is written and ends, it's so perfect. And it just made me feel all the same emotions that I felt reading about America and Maxim. And so if I'm going to dive into a royal again, I'm reading that series again.
And I will finish it. I just don't know when.
Yeah, it's not a priority.
It's not a priority. I like it.
Right.
And I need to know where it goes.
Right.
I'm not invested.
Right.
Give me a reason to be invested.
Right.
Honestly, fill the world out. Give me a backstory. Give me a novella with with some history.
Right.
Fix that. Like, that's the only way you're getting me on this.
And I feel like because of the way that we keep up a demand with the schedule, so we have fans that recommend books to us, and then we slide those in. I've started doing the April quick takes in our Instagram stories. So I'm sharing with you guys books that like we are not reading for pod that I have enjoyed. I'm actually going to be filming one today after we're done filming. And like that kind of stuff, it's more important to me than finishing a series that the first book was lackluster. It's also really motherfucking long. Like this book did not need to be this long. It's over 400 pages.
It's
440 pages.
I liked it and I didn't like it. And that's very frustrating for me because I can't pinpoint why I do like it and I can't pinpoint why I don't like it. So what was your Goodreads? Final thoughts.
I'm pulling it up right now because I don't remember. And I knew you were going to ask me.
Final thoughts. I always do. I always do.
So I gave it a 3 out of 5. And I don't need to read what I said because I've said it all on here. Yeah. But I did say
this is a solid 3.5.
3 out of 5 stars, and then I put in parentheses not inspired to finish the rest of the series. So, but to be fair, this book of the series only has 3.83 stars on Goodreads.
I think that's acceptable. That's a valid location.
The second one is lower than that.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
The third one is lower than that. But the fourth one, which isn't out yet, has a 4.12 rating. You motherfuckers need to stop rating stuff before it comes out. Not just rate it because you're excited about it. That's some bullshit.
Hey, now, guys, come on. They're never going to give us half stars if you guys keep that up, you know. Right.
This one person wrote a 5-star review, and the review is, I think it's going to be rain. Update. It is rain. When they updated the title.
That's
and they gave it 5 stars. Like, that's unacceptable. Motherfuckers. Anyway, that's all I have.
Do you want
to talk about next week?
Yeah, let's talk about next week.
So next week, we do not have a typical episode.
It's because we're going to see each other.
Yeah, so what we're actually going to do next week, the next week in Podland, not in IRL, we are going to have an episode that is all the interviews from the con that Tom's going to string together. So don't forget that, well, it'll be too late at this point. We're going to be live all day on our socials with each interview, but Tom's actually going to be recording those as well. And then we're stringing them together into an episode that'll be available as an MP3 audio wherever you get your podcasts. And it'll still be on our YouTube page as well because we are filming video. And I don't know for sure, but there's a possibility that we'll be going back into that episode and maybe we'll do some commentary of like introducing the segments. We haven't really decided yet, but it won't be a book episode. It'll be an author episode.
It's an author heavy episode, which is awesome. We're glad that.
We are meeting 6 authors. I mean, it's really freaking cool.
I might run around and just randomly snap pictures with more authors.
I want to see you run around.
You don't want to see me running around.
I want to see you run around.
Yeah, right.
I want to see you try run around.
Because Katie will tackle me. What the fuck are you doing, Molly?
Oh my gosh, random story. I have to tell you this really quickly. We had Cub Scout camp a week ago, and we had a lot of people not come because there were concerns for weather. And so we had a lot of taco meat, and so all the guys that were active duty, I was like, "Have you already made your weight? Okay, here's more tacos." We were doing walking tacos, and I was like, "Have you made weight?" Just all the tacos.
I forgot that it's weight season.
Yeah.
Not looking forward to that. So glad I don't do that shit anymore.
Right.
All right, besties, we are going to get out of here because we have a long week still.
Yeah, I've got 2 programs tomorrow. All right. I love you, Molly. I'm going to see you in a couple of days.
I love you. See you in a couple days. Until next time, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for joining us on Book Besties. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The views discussed here are those of Molly and April and not those of anyone else. Today's book was American Royals by Katharine McGee. Your book besties are Molly Biggs and April Watkins. Editing by Thomas Watkins, and music is Sleep Sweetly by Brigida. Don't forget to follow Book Besties on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. If you'd like to contact the Book Besties, please email us at bookbestiespod@gmail.com or visit our website, www.bookbestiespodcast.com. Until next time, besties, get lost in your favorite book.